Okay, let's unpack something that might surprise you. Customer experience quality, how effective it is, how easy, even the emotion side, it's actually declined
Mm.
for the third year running.
Yeah, that's according to Forrester.
Right. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Because at the same time, Metrigy's research shows businesses are spending more on AI for customer support.
And it's a huge priority for outsourcers, too.
Exactly. So you've got this mismatch.
It's a fascinating puzzle, isn't it? You see all this focus, all this investment in AI within support,
Mm-hmm.
and yet the actual metrics, the things telling us how customers feel about it, they're going the wrong way.
So the core question really is why? Why isn't all this AI firepower making things better for, the actual customers?
What's the disconnect? Where's it going wrong?
Yeah. So today we're doing a deep dive into exactly that. Why the decline amidst the AI buzz? And maybe more importantly, how can businesses actually use AI strategically?
To turn it around.
To turn it around, improve quality, but crucially, without breaking the bank. Avoid just jumping on the AI train because it's there.
Which can actually make things worse sometimes.
Definitely. So we'll look at needing a new perspective on AI in support, building that data foundation,
Super important.
deploying AI smartly for real impact, and, the vital role people still play.
Well, if you think about the big picture, customer expectations, they're not standing still, they keep going up.
Constantly rising.
And it feels like how the industry's putting AI into practice, well, it's just not quite keeping up with what people now expect.
Right. And it seems like a big part of it is some companies are using AI almost in isolation, mainly, it seems, to cut costs. But here's the thing. Customers are smart. They can usually tell when it's just about saving money, not making their life easier.
They really can. And look, AI can potentially lower costs without hurting quality. That's true.
Sure.
But it absolutely cannot be this standalone thing. It's got to be woven into the whole customer support strategy.
Which brings us to just how complex that customer journey is now.
Oh, totally. Think about all the ways someone interacts: phone, email, chat, social media, so many channels.
Multiple touch points.
And people have different preferences too, right? Sometimes they want help right away. Other times they're happy to try self-service first. It varies.
So just like sticking a fancy chatbot on your website, that's not going to suddenly fix everything across the board.
Not at all. Today's customers, they expect, and honestly, they probably deserve to expect, that if AI is being used, it should make their whole experience better.
Consistently better.
Across every single channel they might use. They want that seamless quality feel no matter how they reach out.
Which leads us neatly into why you absolutely need that data-centric foundation before you even think about deploying AI effectively.
Exactly. Our source really emphasizes this. There are like 3 key steps to build that foundation right, aiming for both quality and cost effectiveness.
Okay, let's get into those steps. The first one sounds almost basic, but it's critical. Start with the outcome, not the task.
Right. Seems obvious, maybe. But apparently a lot of businesses fall down right here.
They focus too much on, let's implement this AI feature, instead of what customer result are we actually trying to achieve.
Yeah, that task-first thinking can really spread through the whole support strategy. It affects how they use AI, how they work with outsourcers, even how they deploy their own teams.
So instead of, we need a chatbot for FAQs, the thinking should start with something really clear, like we want our average CSAT score to hit 90%. You set the target first.
And then you work backward from that goal. What do we actually need to get there? What AI? What human skills? How do they fit together?
Makes sense.
And, if you're working with an outsourcer who gets this outcome-first idea, you can actually benchmark yourself. See how you stack up against others with similar goals.
That gives you a much better handle on what resources you genuinely need.
Exactly. It avoids guesswork.
Okay, so that's step 1. Outcome first. Yeah. Step 2 is using an hourly on-demand model. Why is that flexibility so important?
Well, it ties right back to the outcome focus. Once you know what it takes to hit your target, say that 90% CSAT,
Right.
you need an operating model that lets you adjust. Your data might show you need, 10 agents with AI assist during peak hours, but only 3 overnight to maintain that score.
So you need to be able to scale resources up and down based on real demand.
Precisely. Because if your team or your partner is stuck in a rigid model fixed headcount, maybe limits on chat lot usage.
You're forced into a corner.
Yeah, you end up having to choose between cost and quality. Cut costs when it's quiet, sure, but then quality tanks when you get busy.
And customers feel that instantly.
A proper data-driven model avoids that trade-off. You adjust based on the data and your outcome goals, not some fixed structure.
Okay, crystal clear. And the third step for that foundation, mobilize your data for continuous improvement. Sounds like creating a learning loop.
That's exactly it. AI shouldn't just be for the frontline interactions. You need to use it strategically to constantly find ways to improve the entire support model.
Looking beyond just the immediate tasks tied to that initial outcome.
Right. Examining all the processes, creating that feedback loop so you're always getting better.
Okay, foundation built. Now, where do we strategically deploy AI for the biggest bang for the buck, the biggest improvement? The source gives us 6 key areas. First up, AI-powered chatbots. We hear tons about these.
Yeah, and they sometimes get a bad rap, don't they? But often that's because they're just slapped on without much thought.
Right.
When they're actually integrated properly into a cohesive multi-channel strategy, they can be really good for that initial tier 1 support.
Handling the simpler, common questions quickly.
Exactly. Providing intelligent, instant answers. When done well, the results are clear.
Slash wait times, happier customers, better CSE scores.
But the key is integration. What's next on the list?
The AI assist. This sounds like AI helping the human agents directly.
It is. Basically, AI listens to the agent-customer conversation in real time.
Wow.
And it offers suggestions, maybe pulls up relevant info, gives guidance to the agent right there and then.
That must boost efficiency massively. And the source mentions AI call summarization too.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. Instead of agents spending time writing up notes after every call,
Which takes ages.
AI does it automatically. Frees the agent up to help the next person faster. Big time saver. And probably helps agent morale too.
I bet. Okay, area 3. Agile scheduling for staffing efficiency. This links back to that on-demand model, right?
Directly. You feed AI models historical data, real-time demand data.
And it gets much better at forecasting staffing needs.
Way more accurate. So you can dynamically adjust how many live agents you have rostered at any given time. Predict the peaks, predict the troughs.
Leading to shorter waits, better support, and yeah, saving money by not having people sitting around when it's quiet.
Exactly. Number 4 is upgrading quality with AI-driven QA, quality assurance.
So AI reviewing the calls and chats.
Essentially, yes. It automatically reviews and scores interactions based on quality metrics you set, compliance rules.
Take some of the manual work and subjectivity out of QA.
Right. It means you can check a much larger sample size, get more consistent scoring, and spot areas for improvement or agent coaching much faster. Leads to more consistently high-quality interactions.
Makes sense. Okay, 5th area. Real-time language translation. Hugely important globally.
Increasingly so, AI's gotten surprisingly good at translating live chat pretty much instantly.
So you can support customers in many languages without needing native speakers for every single one.
That's the idea. It massively boosts scalability for global teams, keeps costs down, but lets you talk to customers in their own language. Big efficiency gain.
And the final area, advanced analytics and reporting. This is more behind-the-scenes AI.
Yeah, think of it as offline AI. It crunches all that support data, looking for patterns in why people contact you, maybe even spotting trends in buying behavior linked to support issues.
Generating those deeper insights.
Really rich insights that help you make smarter strategic decisions about your whole support operation, way beyond just handling the next call.
So we've got these powerful AI tools, these strategic deployment areas, but the source really hammers home a point. AI needs people.
Absolutely critical. AI in customer support doesn't just run itself. It needs humans for deployment, training, QA, maintenance, service, optimization, the whole life cycle.
You can't just switch it on and walk away.
Not if you want it to actually work well.
Yeah.
The companies that are nailing high-quality multi-channel support, they're the ones who figured out how to seamlessly blend AI and human talent.
It's not AI or humans, it's AI and humans.
Finding that optimal mix.
And to make sure the human part works well, delivering quality and being cost-effective, the source points to 3 success factors. First, strategic insight.
You need people with real strategic vision, deep industry knowledge, people who can actually design and implement these complex AI-powered programs effectively.
Someone who understands the business goals and how AI and people can work together efficiently to hit those goals.
Yeah, balancing that mix. The example they give is conversation designers for chatbots.
Right. You need someone who understands human conversation to make the bot sound natural and helpful, not robotic and annoying.
Exactly. It requires that human touch, that insight. Second factor, high-quality hiring. Sounds obvious, maybe.
Maybe not always practiced.
Apparently not. Just like a bad chatbot creates fiction, so does a poorly hired or poorly trained agent.
Mm-hmm.
The source points out that sometimes, especially with large-scale outsourcing, the focus can be on just getting bodies in seats quickly, maybe not on finding the right people.
Leading to agents who don't really know the product or the industry or the customer. Maybe language barriers too, if it's mass hiring from one region.
All potential issues. And in a world where keeping customers is everything, you really need top-notch support people, CS experts, as the source calls them.
That stat is sobering. A bad hire costing potentially 3 times their salary. That really drives home the importance of getting hiring right.
It really does. Investing in great people is just as vital as investing in great tech. And the third factor is interesting: genuine interest.
Genuine interest. Tell me more.
So the source talks about their model where their specialists, their mods, actually get to choose the projects they work on.
Oh, interesting.
The idea is if someone is genuinely interested in the brand, the industry, they naturally bring more care, more knowledge, a better understanding of customer needs to the job.
That makes total sense. If you care about what you're doing, you do it better.
You're more engaged, more motivated to provide really good support.
Okay, so all these pieces, the data focus, the strategic AI, the key human elements, they come together in what the source calls the source-up era of customer support.
Yeah.
What's the essence of source-up?
Well, SourceUp is basically presented as the embodiment of everything we've just talked about. It's an approach that uses data, uses expert humans, uses AI, all working together.
To improve outcomes and lower costs.
Exactly. That outcome-first methodology is absolutely central. Work backward from the results you want, then design the data-driven program, mixing AI and people in the smartest way.
And it sounds like they help deploy the AI tools translation, virtual agents, AI assist, but only where it makes sense for the specific outcomes.
Right, not just tech for tech's sake. Plus, they emphasize using those offline AI benefits too, the analytics, the smart scheduling, the AI-driven QA.
So the source mentions 3 pillars for SourceUp. First is using data for insights across the whole journey.
Checks back to that data foundation we discussed. Pillar 2.
Integrating AI as part of that holistic outcome-first strategy, not just isolated tools.
Makes sense. And Pillar 3.
Leveraging human experts, people with insight, skills, and that genuine interest to train the AI, maintain it, enhance it, and handle the stuff AI just can't.
They're really complex or sensitive interactions.
It also sounds like their staffing model is super flexible, scale up, scale down, without quality dropping, which must tie back to hiring top talent and letting them choose projects.
That seems to be the connection, yes. Access to a global talent pool, matching specialists to the client's specific needs.
And they use their experience, almost 2 decades worth, plus forecasting, to set a fee tied directly to achieving those desired outcomes.
So accountability is built in.
And they share some pretty impressive stats. 92% CSAT,
That's high.
a 4x increase in revenue growth for some clients, and 100% QA rates for their mods.
Wow, 100% QA is remarkable. They do suggest checking out the full stories behind those numbers if you're interested.
Definitely compelling results. So let's loop back to where we started, those questions. How do you stop AI making support feel worse? How do you escape the cost versus quality trap?
And the answer really seems to be, it has to be strategic, it has to be data-driven. You need the right mix of AI and skilled, engaged humans, all focused on the outcome across the entire journey.
It's about that holistic view, not just tweaking one part.
Exactly.
It really makes you pause and think about your own company's approach, doesn't it? Are you truly focused on the end results for your customers? Are you really leveraging both AI and your people effectively across all the ways customers interact? Or is it more about deploying AI in pockets, maybe task by task, without that bigger picture?
It's a crucial self-assessment, and for anyone listening who wants to dig into this for their own situation, the source is actually offering something quite valuable.
Yeah.
A free, structured 45-minute session with their AI specialists, basically an assessment of your current program.
That sounds like a great opportunity to get some expert eyes on what you're doing. Identify strengths, weaknesses, opportunities.
Yeah, definitely worthwhile if you're serious about improving.
Absolutely. And if the whole source-up idea resonates, if you're thinking, how could this help us get smarter, more effective support that actually drives CI and maybe even growth?
They invite you to reach out.
Yeah, get in touch with them. Talk through your business needs, your challenges, and see how SourceUp might help you build that truly intelligent, effective customer support system.